Welcome back to another week of Everything Vaguely Paranormal.
Welcome to Everything Vaguely Paranormal. Welcome to Everything Vaguely Paranormal.
Yeah, welcome to Everything Vaguely Paranormal. Good evening, everybody. I know that was a little bit lengthier and a little bit different than what we usually do. We are going to do something we have never done tonight because our guest is having an issue and was unable to make the show. So
it's a live
show. It happens. We're going to roll with it. So y'all got a little bit of new little intro music there. Tonight, we are going to be talking about a couple of things that Everything Vaguely Paranormal has found out through a lot of their evidence or a lot of our evidence review. We're going to be talking about some of our investigations and things like that. Also, we're going to encourage y'all tonight. This is your time to shine. If you've ever wanted to ask us a question, now is the time.
Ask us anything except if it's on a tax return. If it's on a tax return, I will not answer it. But other than that, you can ask us anything. Ryan's got a lot of secrets, y'all. A lot.
Shut up.
Ryan does that. He does. So I kind of want to kick it off because Shelly, if y'all have watched our haunted gauntlet that we went on this last year.
Oh, I thought you were going to talk about all my different hairstyles in that opening.
Shit, yeah.
I mean, it was a lot. Let's be honest. But so if y'all watched our lives when we went on our haunted gauntlet this last year, we went to Indiana State Sanatorium and we went to Waverly Hills. And Shelly, you've been reviewing that Indiana State Sanatorium evidence like really in depth. I know we did kind of a little precursor, but like really in depth. And you're actually telling me that we got a shit ton more than what we thought that we got.
We absolutely did. And I'm going to tell you right now, I know that our Indiana State is next week and you will be getting to see and hear some of this.
Right.
When we were going through it, we kept thinking, oh, we did have what we thought was someone in there with us, that kind of thing. But we were thinking we didn't come out of there with very many things. However, in reviewing this place, I have never heard more disembodied voices, more direct answers on the mic in whispers, and these things that happen, these knocks, these bumps that we didn't hear in the moment, something directly answering us whenever we ask who did that on the mic, saying it was me, and it sounds like a child's voice. There are so many things and that's one of the things about evidence review. And unfortunately, we are a little behind in our evidence review, to say the least. But we are endeavoring to catch all that up. And the things that we have missed have absolutely made my head spin. Had we known some of the things that were being said to us in that moment, we might have proceeded through Indiana State with a little bit more caution than what we did. And there was a live spirit box session in room 16 that sent chill bumps up all of our spines when Rhonda, who was with us, asked a question and it gave something directly related to her. And I had to listen 5 or 6 times to the spirit box to hear what was said because I kept getting thrown off by her reaction. Her reaction was like, what? And you guys have heard that. So
you've said that. No, because we're going to be covering Indiana State Sanatorium next week for sure. Again, for those of y'all just joining us, our guest tonight could not make it, so we are going to be answering your questions and talking about some of the things that EVP's been working on.
It's Ask Ryan Anything Nice. Ask Ryan. Ask him; he'll answer.
Not just me.
Yeah, put those questions in the comments because we will make him answer them.
But what I was telling, like going back to what you were saying is whenever we are in a location, there's so much going on around us. We do miss things when you're out and about in the field doing this kind of work. And when you go back and watch, you're like, how the hell did you miss that? What is wrong with you? But you don't know until you're, a lot of the times you don't know what's happening until you go back and watch that evidence. We've even been watching, I've even been watching a paranormal television show where in the moment, the guy, whoever is hosting, doesn't react to something. I'm like, how can you not hear that? But sometimes in the moment, you just don't. So.
That's why whenever we're on lives, we love it whenever you guys are tuned in and watching. Because I've been recently also reviewing the end of our Broadhead Manor. Yeah. And it was so funny because I know that on my live someone had put in the comments, they said this, or we heard a bang or a knock. Now, I didn't hear it in the moment. Going back and reviewing, it was like, y'all had my back. It was not that big knock that everybody heard. Because, child, I jumped off the desk for that one. That was a little too close.
Yeah,
But there were a couple of smaller knocks that y'all said you heard, because I went back and looked at the comments y'all put in too, to kind of give myself a guide.
Yeah.
Mhm.
And I'm like, dang, that is there. I'm like, y'all have good ears. Good job. So yeah, there are whispers of one of the ones, and I'll tell this one because I don't think it's going to be one of the clips we're going to use, from Indiana State. As we're walking in, it's Ryan and Blake are in front of me, and another investigator is in front of me, and I was basically caboosing it. And as I'm walking in, they all stop because they're like, did you hear that? And we all kind of stop. And right on the mic, my mic on my camera, it goes, Shelly, Shelly, Shelly. Child, I wasn't whispering my own name. And I'm like, okay, it's on there. You can hear it. Didn't hear it in the moment, obviously. But that is going to be one that we are going to have a fantastic blooper reel on.
Oh God, yeah, the animal
Oh,
attacks. Oh my
Lord.
God, y'all got to wait for the animal attacks. It's the hilarious thing. Yeah, we're gonna have a great blooper reel on that. We got one of the questions that I'll put up. Are we doing a Halloween investigation in 2024? Yes, we are doing a Halloween investigation. It is going to be at the Old Park Hotel, but unfortunately, that is already sold out.
Yes, it is the weekend prior
Yeah.
to Halloween.
Yeah.
This is the first year in about 7 years that it has been open. The last time I did it was right before they started Hallow Scream, and it was nuts that weekend.
Now we are going to have a couple of other things going on in October around Halloween time. We will have a Gregg County Historical Museum investigation. That one is not even posted yet. Tickets are not on sale yet, but that one's going to end up being, I think, like the 21st of October. And then we will also be at the old YMCA Rock Island Paracon up in Rock Island, Illinois.
Y'all are hearing it because
Let me get all this down.
because they haven't announced us as guests yet, but we are confirmed.
Yeah, we are going to
So
be
we
up
will
there
be
on
in
October
Illinois.
5th. So we will be up there doing what they're going to have us do, and then they're going to be an investigation afterwards on that as well. So we do have some things that are planned for the October timeframe around Halloween.
I mean, by the time we start here coming up, we are balls to the wall all the way until the holidays. So,
You ain't lying.
yeah.
So I
So-
want to go ahead.
I was just going to say, here's another one. Just wondering, have y'all ever had a random person of the group get touched or scratched?
I can answer that question. Yes, actually.
A random person in our like as in a guest setting.
As in a guest setting.
Absolutely.
One of the first ones I ever came on, my ex-girlfriend was with me, and she got scratched right between the shoulder blades in the chapel in Yorktown. And it freaked her out. Like, I had to go outside, and she was smoking about 3 cigarettes just and one after another, like trying to reconcile what happened to her, So So it does happen.
I think
it's not just us.
I think she was the first one that evening to get scratched as well, because I hear somebody run down and going, Shelly, somebody got scratched. You need to come out here. I'm like, oh, I'm coming. Are they okay? They're like, yeah. And what's funny was she was very calm about it, or she appeared very calm about it.
Oh, she wasn't.
I know she wasn't.
She appeared calm, but
Yes,
that trail of cigarettes said otherwise.
Yes,
Yeah.
Doug just said yes, a guest setting. Yes,
actually, we always warn people that come with us, because we're like, look, we are not responsible for what the spirits do, for what they say, because sometimes they get real aggressive, sometimes they get real nasty, sometimes they get real personal, and sometimes they get physical. We have had people that have been jumped on our investigations. We have had people that have, and by jumped, I mean taken over, not acting like themselves. One of our scariest nights we were actually just talking about this a little while ago. One of the scariest nights we've ever had. Go back and watch episode 3, I believe it is, of Hill House Manor. 3 or 4.
Hill House Manor. Yeah.
That and the gentleman who got jumped came on and told us about what he was feeling. We started an Estes method. He had never done it before. And this is where we learned that after 1 or 2, you need to take a break and break up energy, because Blake had just done one, and Did you start it or had someone else done it right after you? I think it was you, and they were getting
I
aggressive
started
with
it.
you.
I started
Mhm.
it. Yeah.
And I
Yeah.
said, anybody else want to try? And he volunteered. He got up there, he volunteered, and it was within, what was it, exactly like 32 seconds he was done.
Yeah. He
Pretty
was.
much.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Or it was 23. It was
He was sitting.
23.
Well,
And at 32, we realized something was going on.
he was sitting there, and this is where if y'all ever heard us talk about the number 23, this is also where the number
Mhm.
23
That's right.
originally comes from too, because when we started reviewing this thing, Shelley opens up the Estes method, and when she lifts her hand off of his shoulder, it is the 23rd minute of the 23rd hour of the 23rd day, and the minute and the second hand it ends in 2-3. So it was 11:02 and 3 seconds the minute her hand lifts off his shoulder. So literally all 23s on that. That's where that originates from. If you've ever heard us talk about the number,
And 23 seconds in is where something goes very wrong with him
very
doing it. That's
wrong.
just very wrong, very wrong.
Because he's sitting there, and then all of a sudden he kind of drops his head and he goes silent, and he doesn't say anything. And it takes us maybe about another 10-15 seconds to be like, you need to give him a word. You need to give him a word. And he wasn't doing anything. And so when Shelley grabbed him on this shoulder, he's down like this, and Shelley goes like this to tap him, and he just went.
He slumped.
And just
he
slumped. And it was
and
the
we
wildest.
start just yanking everything off of him. And that footage is in episode 3, it's either 3 or 4, Hill House Manor. And whenever we pull everything off of him, he is not responsive. And, he's really not paying attention. And we close the circle and we're like, we've got to get him out of here. We've got to get him out of here right now. He starts to fight us. He wraps his legs around the chair. He does not want to leave the chair. And had it been just Blake and I, there's no way we could have gotten him out. He was a big guy, bigger than me, bigger than Blake. And it took fortunately, there were some big dudes he brought with him that actually were the ones that ended up dragging him out. Me and Blake are pushing him out, and they're pulling him out. And there was one point where he was so affected that whenever he got to the entryway, he put his hands up and he was holding himself in. I'm telling you right now, and I've told him this too, I was bending his fingers backwards to pry them off, to the point where I was afraid I was going to break his fingers, because every time I would pry one off, he would just curl that hand around there even tighter. And I'm bending fingers backwards, and he's not turning loose. It's not even affecting him. We get him through that door, and as we're about to get him out the door, he throws that arm around. Blake barely misses getting hit doing that. The guy puts his finger on the trim of a door, which couldn't have been more than about that
a quarter of an inch thick.
He gets his fingers underneath it, wraps it around, pulls that trim off. It comes off towards him because that was like his last stay. And whenever Blake goes to get his fingers off that, he shoves Blake into the wall.
Yep.
And then that's when, the second he was distracted, I'm pushing, the dudes are pulling. He crosses the threshold and he falls.
Just collapses. Yeah.
And he remembered nothing.
And it's so crazy that particular location popped off like that, because out of all the places we go, that one is more of a calmer look. I mean, it's still active, but it's more of a calmer location.
It can get very nasty.
But I think that one has the mentality of, take out the biggest guy. You take out the biggest guy, and then I can mess with everybody else that's here. I mean, Josh in the comments said we were worried about him the next time that we went. Yes, we were, because he was the biggest guy whenever we went. Ryan, we're worried about you when you go, because out of the 3 of us, you're the biggest guy.
True.
Yeah.
And I think that place has that mentality. Now, is it like that all the time? No, it's not.
No.
But can it get to that level? Yes, it can.
Well, and what you were saying about take out the biggest guy. I will tell you, Josh, that when we went last time to Old Park, I was not as concerned about the guys, because whatever was there really wanted to pick on the girls. And so in that case, I was more worried about the females in at that particular location. But yes, we have had guests get scratched, get jumped, get pushed, get
flipped
tumped over backwards in the chairs.
Yeah. Well, that actually, I don't want to get too hung up on this, because I want to make sure we're getting to all these questions that are coming in. Actually, I'm going to roll into this question because it just fits with the topic. What happens when you get jumped? Will I take it home with me?
We're going to do our best not to make you take it home with you.
No.
We're going to do everything in our power that we know to do to make sure that you don't take it home with you, and teach you some different ways to not let it go home with you.
Right.
We can
When
only
you-
tell you what
when
happens
you-
when we get jumped because
Right.
Blake, you've been jumped and I've been jumped pretty. I didn't get.
I'll
yeah.
talk about one of that's a little bit less of a impact, but still, when you're experiencing it, it doesn't matter how light it is; it's pretty impactful. So I'm sitting there. This is at Gregg County Historical Museum. I'm in the bank vault. I'm doing an Estes method,
Mhm.
and I kept asking over and over, "Priest, get the priest." And felt like I was on this verge where this woman and this man were talking, and I felt like this lady was trying to come clean about something that this guy possibly may have done something or could have been wrongly accused for, is kind of where we were going with it.
Mhm.
And I get towards the end of my Estes and Shelly's leading me, and I'm leaned down, and literally I felt two hands, man's hands, on my chest. And I just took a deep breath in and I said, I have hands on my chest. And I leaned back, and Shelly's like, nope, we're getting him out. And so
Right.
they pull me out, and I take all I remember. And that's the funny thing, because you get real foggy when this happens. I remember taking the headphones off, and I remember looking up at Shelly, and she goes, are you all right? And I was trying to say no, like, and I was trying to move my mouth, and all of a sudden this rush of energy just came at me, and it was the saddest energy I think I've ever felt. Just hit me, and all of a sudden, out of nowhere, I just started just bawling.
I mean, you're
He couldn't
boohooing.
talk.
I
Yeah.
was, I could not talk. I had to be escorted out of the building,
Mhm.
across the street, on some, off the property,
Onto some
and
ground.
onto some ground. So when you're getting
This
jumped,
is like really upsetting me. I'm like really
Yeah.
shaking right now just even thinking about this.
well, when
Mhm.
you're in the process of getting jumped, it's something that you may not actually realize it in the moment. It may happen so freaking quick, but that's where you have to lean into the trust of the people who are leading you, who are guiding
Right.
you, and your
That
teammates.
they're reading you, they're understanding what's
that
going
they're
on.
yeah, and that's why whenever we do an Estes method with public settings, because typically people always come with somebody, we always say the person that's close to them, hey,
Mhm.
you keep an eye on them. If they look weird, they act different, they're breathing weird,
Say
you
something.
let
immediately.
us
Right.
know. Because we need to go ahead and pull them if that's the case, because they potentially could be getting jumped. Now, in
Right.
that instance, I had no, there was no
You-
heads up.
he gave no indicators
No,
other than
except for the
he was
hands.
speaking, and then he kind of did this hands on his chest. He was like,
Mhm.
Yeah,
Right.
and that was not a motion that was common for him.
right.
Mhm.
And
Now-
that's what gave us a little bit of alarm.
The
Mhm.
second part to that question is, will you take it home? From that particular one, I did not take anything home.
No.
So I did everything that I do with grounding, centering. I think we saged me that night.
I
Stuff like that.
I saged you 3 times.
Yeah,
and
so,
remember, remember too, it also depends on what works for you. Like
That's
if you
right.
have some sort of religion you attract, or lack thereof, or whatever ritual that you do to, like, kind of cleanse yourself. It really just
Right.
depends on what works for you to make
Right.
those things stay behind.
Right.
Well,
So-
and then on the converse note, the last time that, and I got my ass absolutely kicked. Those of you that were there at Old Park that
Mhm.
night, they know this. I don't think I was jumped, but I yeah, I was.
You were
I
jumped.
was
You were
jumped.
Yeah, you were.
I was jumped.
You were totally jumped.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
And I'll be real honest. It was like this image in my mind. I kept putting these bricks up, and I could feel whatever this was coming at me, and I just kept putting up bricks, and I could feel myself wearing down, emotionally, physically, psychologically. I was wearing down, and suddenly I was like, I'm out of bricks. I had no more bricks in my mental wall to put up, and the last thing that I see in my mind's eye, right before it happens, is I just see this hand come over, like something's coming over the wall.
Yeah.
And I started to get violently ill, and they were seeing what was going on. They
Mhm.
both come at me, and I feel one hand on my shoulder, and all of a sudden I was about to vomit. And it's like, I remember in a desperate moment just screaming out, close the fucking circle.
Yeah.
Mhm.
And I came out. It took me. Let me tell you this. It took me 2 weeks to get right after that,
Yeah.
because whatever it was, it followed me home.
Yeah.
Ryan can attest to my mental state when I left
Mhm.
that morning. I was not right. I woke up. I was
No.
crying. I couldn't quit crying. Go ahead, Ryan. You can tell this upsets me to even talk about.
So we were packing up, and normally you're on top of it. You're helping us pack up. It's the next morning. We want to let Dan and Connie, who own it, get along with their day. So we're out of there pretty quick, and we can't find Shelly, and we're like, Shelly, come on, it's time to go. And we go into the room and Shelly is just bawling. And she's like, I need a minute. Just leave me alone. I'll be fine. I need a minute. I was like, are you sure? And she's like, yeah, I'll be fine. So, all right.
That I was trying not to be angry because whenever Ryan walked in, I got so angry. I just needed him to get away from me.
So I go back downstairs and, we're packing up and we're getting ready to leave and still nowhere to be found. Shelly, it's like, man, it's been like 20 minutes, it's been like 30 hours, it's been like 30 minutes, and so I go back upstairs and we can't find Shelly. And where's Shelly at? She's at the very end of the hallway in that room to the left, what they call Deacon's Den now. And she's just sitting there on the couch in between two mirrors, crying and boo-hooing. And we're like, Shelly, it's time to go. She's like, no, just leave me alone. I feel safe here. I don't want to go. And I'm like, okay, well, if you feel safe here, that's not a good sign. We got to get you out of here because this is one of the most gnarly rooms in the entire place. So we finally get Shelly to get up and leave. And Shelly goes outside and she just walks away from the entire group because she can't be around men at the time because she has so much anger towards men and so much sadness that she is just dealing with. And she has to go away from all of us. What's up?
I'm not laughing at you. I'm laughing at the damn comments. People are wanting to go, but they don't want to go home with one of Shelly's gangster ghosts.
Hey, my gangster ghosts for all that.
As they put it from the whorehouse y'all go to.
Oh, yeah. But I mean... I've never seen her like that because Shelly has been jumped, but this was like the most prolonged jumping I've ever seen because she went away and she was trying to ground herself, trying to get right. And she still was not able to get it right when we left. She got in her car and went home and was called us crying, still dealing with this stuff like 2 weeks later. And even though, I'm sure she tried to sever that connection to whatever that was, sometimes it takes a while for that to dissipate. So even though you do leave some of that behind, you're still somehow plugged in just a little bit, and you have to wait for a little bit for that connection to get weaker and weaker until it finally does go away.
And that was the longest one I'd ever had. So, I mean, you get what's called a paranormal hangover.
Right.
And that's where, now, granted, you've been up all night, so you are tired. But it's that little extra, something's off, and until you get that balance back, that's what a lot of investigators refer to as a paranormal hangover. So but that one took me 2 weeks. That's the worst I've ever been jumped, and that is the longest recovery I've ever had to do from an investigation. So,
but you do this long enough, and it happens.
You're gonna get it at some point.
So we just got a lot of people joining in, y'all. If y'all are joining us tonight, again, our guest didn't show up, so we're doing an open Q&A. So put your questions into the comments, and we will get to them. I do have one. I'm going to round out this whole Hill House thing. This will be our last question on this for now. But we got two more questions that I got to get to. They want to know, would that be your scariest experience with someone getting jumped?
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Anybody getting jumped.
Brian, you weren't there. Shut up. No,
he was there.
I'm just fucking with you.
Yeah.
No. I'm talking. They're talking in
the Hill House. No,
to Keith.
I can only imagine.
Keith. That's when that question came in. Was about
okay.
Was about at the Hill House. For me, somebody getting jumped. No, what scared me worse was when Shelly got jumped because somebody else. For some reason, I just feel like I can fix them. I feel like I can try different things, new elements, and all that kind of stuff.
And I can definitely fix them. I can definitely fix them. It took me about 45 minutes to fix Keith, but I got him fixed.
Right.
When Shelly went down for 2 weeks, and that scared me more.
Right.
So the Shelly being jumped at Old Park was probably the scariest for me. Prior to that happening, yes, Keith being jumped at Hill House was the scariest moment.
Because in all fairness, I'm usually the person that fixes people whenever something happens to them. I'm always the one who's like, I'm gonna put my hand on my shoulder. I'm gonna tell whatever that is, come on to me. I can handle you. Come on.
Yeah.
And I've never had a problem pulling something off someone. It might take me a minute, but I can usually do it.
Yeah.
And whenever I couldn't get it off me, that was an issue. I've never had a problem getting it off me before.
Yeah. So flipping subject here, we've got one that wants to know, have y'all thought about doing investigations in people's home, not public places? The only reason they ask is they say they lived in a haunted house and it was the most truth-telling experience. And has anyone ever asked y'all to do one?
We have done
we have
done one. This is where we do our nice little
We've done
plug.
a couple.
This is where we do our nice little plug where we say, if you need help with the paranormal, we don't charge shit because they shouldn't be charging shit if you need
Absolutely
help with
not.
the paranormal. So I'm just
Because you can't guarantee a result.
Right. And, and we don't want anything to bother you in your own home, especially if you have children. We want to make sure that everything is good to go. So if you need help, give us a call.
Be aware, we are going to put you through a series of questions.
Right.
That you may not want to tell us, but we're going to ask you to be honest. See, we've done the Oklahoma house. We've done the one out towards Blake's neck of the woods. We've done the one. Actually, we've done 2 out towards Blake's neck of the woods. I've done 2 or 3 before I was with these guys, and have gone to 1, not 2. But we're going to ask you questions.
Well, and here's it's kind of, we'll go into that for just a second because I think it's important. A lot of people, I mean, we do get hit up a lot for, hey, I've got something going on in my home. Well, when you message us that and say, hey, we've got this crap happening in our house, we don't know what it is. We are not going to automatically just assume that it's paranormal. We are going to start asking you questions about your house. How old is it? What is, blah, 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 all that general stuff. So maybe, is it the pipes? Is it settling? Is it, all that. Then after that, we're going to ask you some other questions if things aren't kind of adding up, if you tell us some claims that seem a little weird. And those are going to be things like, are there children in the home? Has anybody been dabbling in something they shouldn't have? Ouija boards, tarot cards, crystals.
That's for our safety.
Right. Yeah. Do you have a history of mental health issues in your family? That is not to be derogatory towards anybody. Those are things we need to know. Is anybody currently on medication? We also need to know that. It's not us trying to single things out or saying that we don't believe a person. But as paranormal investigators and researchers, when somebody's needing help, we have to look at all angles. And
we're trying to rule
out possibilities,
all variables.
Right. So, right. So when Shelley says you're going to be put through the ringer, you're going to be put through the ringer.
Well, and then the fun part is that we're not going to tell you what to do. We're going to come and investigate your house because we can't tell you what to do unless we come. And if we come to investigate your house, guess what? You've got to leave.
Yeah.
Because we have to determine if it's the house that's haunted or the person.
Or if it's you. Yeah.
So, you're going to have to trust me in your bathroom, and I look in medicine cabinets.
And Ryan blows up bathrooms. So
yes, he does.
Hey, man.
I'm going to look to see if you lied to me about that medication you were taking. I will look.
But those are things that, in all seriousness, those are things that we have to know so that, number one, we can rule things out. And number two, for our safety and for your safety. And as Shelley said, we have to come in and do an investigation. We can't fight what we don't know is there. Right. If we come in just slinging holy water everywhere and sage and things, we're going to piss something off more than likely.
We went to one house and literally we were the second team. The first team she had called in, number one, they tried to charge her.
Yeah.
And they charged her, I believe it was $300. Isn't that what she told us? And we said, you should never pay that. You should have told them no, F off.
Run away.
Number two, they didn't do an investigation. They came in, they walked around, they gave her some blessed St. Christopher medals from off Amazon and told her to put them in all corners of her house and that everything would be just fine.
Yeah.
That was the extent of it. Oh God, no. That actually can do more harm than good. Playing around going, oh, just do this, it'll be fine. No, that's not how
anybody who charges you for that, turn around and run the opposite direction. That is absolute crap. Do not let anybody do that
for something
to you.
You can't guarantee a result. Now, if they ask you, hey, if you want to buy them a pizza, great. Whatever. But
if you're feeling nice,
you shouldn't be paying for that.
Would y'all do a daycare?
Yeah.
Do what with it?
Investigate
it?
What do you think?
What do you think? Play merry-go-round with it? Like, what the fuck?
I don't
know. Would we do a daycare?
I think you would. I think you would have to. If you're getting kids that are getting messed up, I think you absolutely have to determine if there's actually something there.
Right.
Yeah. But here's the thing: if it's a daycare and you don't own it, you have to get permission from whoever it is that owns it.
That's the other thing. We need permission from the owner.
That's right.
Yes.
I will tell you, if you live in a haunted apartment, I'm real sorry. We might be able to investigate your apartment, but I'm telling you right now, it's probably not going to do you much good because guests aren't confined to one area. They may come visit you, but
Right.
they may really be
Mhm.
residing in the apartment above you.
Right.
Could be.
And we can't get into that. So, it's kind of like,
It's kind of harder if it's
it's a lot
if it's-
harder.
if it's in an apartment. Yeah.
Mhm.
Actually, we're working with somebody right now that's having issues in an apartment. And
Yep.
I flat out told him, I was like, I can't guarantee it's yours. We
Yeah.
can seal yours off, push anything out that might be in here and seal it off, but
Mhm.
that's about the best I can get you. You know.
Yeah.
And hope. Luckily, it's nothing bad. It's
Right.
just a little poke fun kind of haunting type thing, messing with them type stuff.
Somebody said we think it's somebody who used to work there, used to be a caretaker
Yeah.
of the building. Yeah.
Yeah,
Right.
or something like that. Yeah.
Yeah.
So, oh man, y'all got some freaking great questions tonight. I
Okay,
love
let's
it.
hear
I
them.
love
I'm
it.
ready.
I
We've
know.
never done a question and answer before. This is fun.
Yeah. No, I actually just wanted to point out, I'm going to put the comment on the screen from somebody who actually was scratch, touched, or flipped at one of our investigations.
Hi, Shelby.
Who said sometimes you don't get followed home, but you still end up having some residual feelings / affected. After being tossed backwards out of the chair, I wasn't, quote, right for close to a week. I was in a loop of trying to rationalize what happened. And that is so true.
Yeah.
Oh, see, we're getting more comments about that.
You know what?
Sometimes you're trying to figure it out.
That is something too, because your
Mhm.
logical, rational mind says there is no way something that I can't see put a mark on me. There's
Right.
no way
Mhm.
that something I can't see
Right.
whistled while I was standing there. There's no way
Mhm.
something talked to a microphone when I'm there, and it's that. I mean, Ryan can attest. Whenever all that happened to me at Old Park, I was calling him and go, I'm losing my mind. I'm like,
Right.
I feel like I've lost my mind. I'm not understanding. The emotions aren't mine. The feelings aren't mine. I don't know where this is from. Go ahead.
So you are very together. I have never heard you that hysterical, and
That
I
was
mean, you
hysterical.
were
That's a good-
hysterical.
That's the part that really got
Uh-huh.
me about that, was just how
Hysterical is the right word.
Yeah.
yeah, I guess hysterical is. I was trying to see if there was another word. Disorganized too.
Mhm.
Your
Discombobulated,
thought- your
absolutely.
Thought process, your speech pattern, your
Mhm.
all of that was completely disorganized. And I think that's why that scared me, is probably the scariest moment of somebody getting jumped, was because it was like, this is not our Shelley.
No.
Like, what the fuck is going on?
It wasn't
Mhm.
making sense in my head, so I'm
Mm-mm.
sure it didn't make sense when it came out of my mouth.
No,
you know?
and
No.
it took multiple belief systems and different people to get
Yes,
you out of
it
that.
did.
Yeah, thank you to
Mhm.
Sal Nicosia Jr., who basically, Ryan had actually messaged me the day before, and Sal has been on our show, and
Mhm.
Ryan said Sal messaged you and warned you yesterday and said if you need something to call him. He goes, you call him whenever you get home. And I go, I don't want to sound like I'm a lunatic. I can't do it. And Ryan's like, promise me. And
Mhm.
I'm like, all right, fine, I promise. And when I called Sal, when I said, hi, Sal, this is Shelley. Look, Ryan made me promise I'd call you. Here's what's going on. And I just vomited all over the poor man.
Yeah.
But he was kind enough to check on me every day, lighting candles for
was.
me, doing that kind of thing, sending the energy, I think he was pulling even across the distance. He was pulling some of that stuff away from me. And I
Yeah.
was greatly appreciative
Well,
of it.
you had him, you had Reiki people
A Reiki
involved,
healer.
Right.
you
Mhm.
had me involved, you had my God, you had one of my friends involved. And
Kathy
they were
Kathy
all
from Soul's Compass was
they were-
doing some
yeah.
work on it.
and they had, I mean, that's what it took over 2 weeks to get
To
you
pull that
right
off,
again,
yeah.
to pull that off of you.
Yeah,
Um,
it took quite a few different people, and if I have not publicly said thank you to all of you that helped me, because
Mhm.
I was worried about me too.
I mean, sometimes it gets flipping scary, because
It
I
does.
mean, out of nowhere, like after we got back from Squirrel Cage Jail, I told y'all, I'm like, I got the weirdest crap happening in my house. I'm like,
Mhm.
I heard something like be tossed. Actually found out that it was the plastic piece on the end of a strap of a backpack that had been lifted up and
Oh.
dropped back on the floor. That was the exact sound that I heard.
Mm.
I have felt somebody like behind me. I've heard low growls behind me. None of that really ever happens. Granted, yes, I've been pulled out of
Well-
my bed in the middle of the night. I know that.
You also saw that dude in your kitchen.
I did
So-
see that guy in my kitchen, which was flipping crazy. But I reached out to Sal as well, and Sal was like, yeah, you've got somebody from
You said
Iowa.
you had a hitchhiker.
And I was like, damn it, I got another one. It's like, son of a bitch.
You do have to guard yourself and be careful because hitchhikers will jump on, and you just gotta let them know, hey, this is not your place. You need to go back to where you came from.
Yeah.
So you got to take the power back in your own house and of your own life. So
yeah. Well, and I'll tell y'all. Speaking of hitchhikers and things following you home, Mr. Big Shadow Man. I have no idea. I haven't seen.
Don't invoke
don't even talk about him.
Ignore him. Maybe he. You know what? You were doing a very good job at ignoring him. So maybe he got bored and he went away.
He was like, "Oh,
I was.
Damn it."
He's like, I can't get to him anymore. I'm gonna go to another sandbox with my toys.
I think perhaps because we're pretty sure we know where he came from. Maybe his hold has kind of dissipated. Maybe there's been enough time and other things that have, and maybe and whenever you get an attachment, y'all, that's something that, guess what? You don't really have a lot of control over it.
Right.
You can, if you've got it, you've got it. You got to either get rid of it, which who knows? Nobody knows exactly how to get rid of it. It takes a lot of work to get rid of them. Sometimes it's easy. Sometimes you get the fuck out of my house. It leaves.
Yeah. Maybe the other hitchhikers told him to hit the bricks, and so he's gone.
Maybe they did. Maybe it's the new guy from Iowa. He's like, no, this is my bitch now. Like,
exactly.
I'm going to take over for you now. You can hit the road, Jack. Oh man, no, but y'all keep those comments coming in for real. Because the attachment guy. The funny thing was that I had just like you, Shelly, I had multiple people involved with him trying to get him out. Psychic mediums, Reiki people, just crystal work, all that stuff had been tried. What we had kind of figured out was, I think that what he was doing was he was just slinking back just enough to be like, okay, I'm gone. Don't worry about it. And then after they get done doing their thing, boom, he's back.
Right. He was hiding. Yeah.
Yeah. An attachment is a whole different sort of ball game.
Right.
So.
Did you say you had another one?
Yeah.
No, we've gotten to the end of our questions for now. Waiting for y'all to. No, it's okay. No.
Like, okay.
No, I knew that we were going to be.
I thought you were busy reading, and I'm like, okay, I'm ready. What's
I am. Well, people are telling us all of their stories about the houses that they've lived in and stuff like that.
Okay.
So it's very interesting. One of them had a house on it previous to the one that they lived in. That the new house, these 3 children kept visiting, warning them and crying. Come to find out, the old house before their house was built burned down, and sadly 3 kids did not make it.
Oh.
Said that the energy in that house was insane.
Residual or intelligent? That would be. So yeah. By the way, I'm sure everybody who watches this podcast knows the different types of hauntings, but just in case, whenever you hear us say something like residual, a residual haunt is like a scar. It's something that it was traumatic, that made an imprint right there, and it happens over and over, usually at the same time of day, and it's not even aware of you. It's wives. It's kind of like talking to your husbands. They don't hear you. They ain't interested in interacting. Especially whenever you say, take out the trash. No, they're not interested. But a residual is something that happens over and over. It's like a scar on your arm or something. It's just there. And it has no interest in interacting with you. It's going about its thing. And it's not intelligent. Now there's an intelligent haunting. That's what we like. Intelligent hauntings will answer you. Give you direct responses on spirit box, REM pods, ITC devices, paralights, any of that that will communicate with you through knocks, taps. That's an intelligent haunting, things that can answer questions and interact. Yeah. And then of course you have, poltergeist activity. Love me some poltergeist activity. That's where things will move.
We have been fortunate to catch that on camera. Yeah.
Yeah. Well, now also, some people say the poltergeist activity is the knocking also. It can fall in either category, intelligent poltergeist activity. Yeah. So the knockings, things like that, because that is a physical noise that in poltergeist literally called a noisy ghost. That's what it translates to. And then of course your other category is the demonic. And trust me, you're not going to run across many of those.
Those are so incredibly rare.
It is so rare. And whenever you go back and watch your favorite YouTuber, it's a demon. It probably isn't. It ain't. Just so you know, it probably is.
They're giving you shit in the comments, Shelly.
What are they giving me shit about?
No, they're just saying the funniest investigations are the ones when Shelly cusses them out, or in some of our experiences, Tell us to fuck off and call us mean names. Oh, okay, that's from a spirit to them.
Oh.
We've
Well,
had spirits like cuss at us. And
Oh
stuff
yeah,
like that.
absolutely.
Oh,
You
yeah.
know, and I just kind of want to reiterate what you were saying, Shelley. If you're an asshole in life, you're going to be an asshole in death. And most of the mean and nasty spirits we come across are just some dickhead who just happened to pass on to the next plane. You know, so it's not. You know, it's not going to be Pazuzu. You know, it's going to be fucking. You know, Ted.
Not Pazuzu. It's going to be Ted from The Office,
right?
Because
you know,
the coffee pot wasn't made. You know, or something.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Right,
that's what it is. No, I mean, let me say this, and then I got a question that just popped up. How many investigations have we done now since we've been 18? Just a trio of a team. My God, a shit ton. Probably
so many.
We've probably forgotten more than we've done.
Yeah.
And how many locations can we say that we believe there might be, and we still put might on there, of a demonic haunting?
One. That's it.
One out of all the locations that we've been to. It's so rare. It's so rare.
And right, I don't know, Ryan, have you been to any place that I haven't been?
No, I don't believe so.
And Blake, have you been to any place that I haven't been?
Bowers Mansion.
I have not been there.
That's just
but
a regular haunting.
I've been to actually more than these guys have been to, more different ones where I've been. And I'm telling you right now, one place, and I'm about as close to being convinced that there's something demonic there, and that is Yorktown Memorial Hospital. I've had too many things, heard too many things in my ear that there's should never come through a spirit box. That is very personal. One.
Yeah. So have you ever heard of a tag-along, or something referred to as a tag-along?
I think it'd be like a hitchhiker. I think that would be my best guess. Same idea. They're coming with you without asking. They're just kind of, they like your energy, so they come with you.
Yeah.
If that's not what you mean, put that back in the comments.
Yeah.
But yeah, the people that are giving me crap about cheering out those spirits that act ugly, you're welcome, because you're not the target anymore. I am.
Let me hold on 1 second. Let me take it back real quick
you going back to Hill House?
Yes, I am, because this was firsthand knowledge. It was just you or firsthand experience. It was just you and I in the house.
First time
Everybody
you ever saw
else
me wig out. Yeah.
No, it wasn't the first time. It was one of the first times, but the first time I ever saw you wig out was at Yorktown. And Shelley, after that, like once we got the whole situation calmed down, we're standing outside, and Shelley is looking this way, and she goes, "You ready to go talk to him? I'm gonna go talk to him. You ready to go talk to him?"
No, now be accurate. What I really say?
I don't remember off the top of my head.
You ready to go talk to these motherfuckers?
Oh yeah, ready to go talk to these motherfuckers. I looked at her. It's like, yeah. And I actually have the video somewhere. I filmed it on my phone. And all because they kept saying like Prince of Darkness and like devil and demon and all this kind of shit. And so Shelley like walks in, and she's like,
"Oh, I'm barreling."
And she just like, "Listen up, you motherfucker." She's like, "You're gonna call yourself a Prince of Darkness? That's the funny thing. You should go tell the real Prince of Darkness what you're calling yourself. Watch him laugh in your face." And I was like, "Damn." And she's like, "I'm gonna bring these people back in here, but you better cut the shit out, or you're gonna answer to me." And I was like,
"Hey, you ain't met Satan."
I was
sitting back here like, I was sitting back here filming. I'm like, I'd listen to her, man.
I'm saying that they ain't met Satan until they met this one over here. So.
And look, I full disclaimer, I don't talk that way to
the undead. She does not, no.
But if you have injured or hurt or jumped somebody that I am responsible for their safety, I'm going to behave towards you exactly the way you need to be talked to. I'm going to talk to you that way. Because if I can tell you're just playing and it was kind of an accident, like, oh, okay, if you'd been being funny all this time and then all of a sudden something happens, okay, that's different. Hey, pull it back. Don't touch. We're not doing that. But if you've done something intentionally to harm someone, scratch across the neck like you're trying to cut their throat, full scratches down their back, or you've jumped somebody, no, you are not going to harm somebody while I'm standing there. I'm not going to let you do it. I'll sage you out. I don't give a damn. I'll tell them I'll sage you out. You are here because right now I'm allowing you to be here. Do not ever forget that.
Well, and I think that's the thing that people, I mean, are we all, laughter and, rays of sunshine and rainbows and all that crap all the time while we're investigating? Most of the time we're having fun.
We're having fun.
Are there times that we have to get pointed and
Mhm.
get in their face and say, you need to back up, or, you know, yes, of course.
Yeah.
Because at the same time, we're also in charge of not just the three of us that are on the stage, on the screen, but 10 to 15 people behind us as well, you know, and their safety is number one. That's paramount.
Yes, we'll have a good time, but we're going to do our
and-
best not to let anybody get injured, jumped, anything.
And remember, they're people without a body, and sometimes you got to check people, and you still have to check spirits, even though they're on the other side. They're still people.
We will never start it. We will never start
Right.
it. But if they do, and we feel like we need to stand our ground, we will never back down either. That's the thing.
Because sometimes backing down is more dangerous than standing up to them.
Yeah.
And,
well, it's like going to a haunted, like an actual haunted attraction. The more you freak out and the more you act scared, the more they're gonna fuck with you. So
right. Yeah. So are you guys thinking about doing any public investigations outside the state of Texas?
Stay tuned. Stay tuned.
We have to unfortunately plead the fifth on that one for now.
You have to take the fifth on
that
one.
should give you your answer on that, because we don't want to go.
Why you want to go
too far? Of course they want
anything is possible. So
but let's see.
How much time would you need?
That's a good question, actually.
Couple months. Yeah. How much? I guess it like depends on how far away it is. So Shelly, I'm gonna let you take this one head on. Have you ever been felt up on an investigation? Go ahead.
I have had the door open on me when I was being undressing.
Yep.
I literally watched the latch pop up and the door swing open while I was damn near naked. I was about as close to naked as you can be without actually, without, I still have my squirrel covers on, but I didn't have nothing else on. I have had the back of my skirt lifted up in the middle of an investigation. I have, I've been touched around the boobage area. I think they were going for my shoulder and it just didn't look any different. I don't know. I've had my rear end touched. Yeah, I've had the back of my neck blown on, and that's really creepy when you feel somebody go, and you're like, get off me. No. Yes, I have.
They just
several times.
the Amber in the comments just remembered the Patreon episode where I talked about some coverage.
Yeah, you have been touched on.
I just recently talked about that. Good job, Amber, for bringing that up. I think that's like this past Patreon episode or the one before, or something like that.
And what's funny is it was all in the same place. Like we all
no,
not
the
mine.
place where
not mine.
Yeah, Old Park. Right. Yeah.
Oh, yeah, back cuppage. Yeah. Sorry, I've gotten two.
You have
I've
two.
had
I've
had full places. Yeah, I've had full ass cuppage on just one my right butt cheek, full ass cuppage in the middle of the night while I'm just laying there. I am up against a wall, so there is nobody behind me. And then at another undisclosed location that we went to, while in the middle of an Estes method, I got my inner thigh right next to my groin muscle grabbed and squeezed.
Honk honk.
Pretty much. That's about how it felt. Honk, honk, So yes, we have been felt up.
Brian, you've been felt up?
No, I've never been felt up. Things tend to like grab my hand or touch my hand a lot, but I've never been grabbed on anything. So
yeah, I've been inappropriately touched by a spirit. Let me be real clear. By a spirit. Real clear about that. Old Park, Yorktown, and then at Palestine Museum, which isn't open anymore. I've had that happen one time there.
I've had them knock on the door while I'm in the shower too. Right as I had soap on my face.
I've had some.
Old Park seems to be the one where they get a little handsy every now. So yes, just in short, to answer the question, yes, there have been a couple of us on the screen that have been felt up.
No grabbage.
It's a little weird.
No grabbage at Old Park, but I've had some vulgar shit said to me over the spirit box. So.
Oh yeah, we've had.
Go and watch the Dirty Estes Method on our YouTube channel.
Yeah. Yeah.
And it wasn't said to you; it was said to me. You were just the conduit.
Oh no!
Yeah.
I mean, when we
Yeah.
there was that time, but there was also.
I'll give you this. If you go watch it's going to be one of our earlier videos.
Early.
It's the Ryan and
Mhm.
Blake dual Estes method Old Park Hotel back in 2021 when we went.
Yep. Mm-hmm.
And I'll give you this much of it. Ryan screams out "eat cock" at Shelly.
Yeah.
I'll give you that much of it.
And that's not even the worst thing he says to me.
No, not at all.
No. So yes, again, as they were in life, so in death.
Mhm.
So if there was
Absolutely.
some cuppage and some filling up going on, yes,
This is why I don't lead the two of them in a dual Estes method if I can avoid it, because that's the kind of crap they say to me. So
Yeah.
Spicy ghosts remain spicy. So
yes. The brothel girls were having a very good time, and the brothel guys that were the guests thought that I was working that night, apparently.
Mhm.
Oh my God. Well, if you're just joining us, we were doing a live Q&A with EVP because our guest did not make it. So we are filling the time answering your questions. Y'all have got some great freaking questions coming in.
Mhm.
These are fantastic. I love the have you ever been felt up? Nobody's
I
ever
have.
asked us that.
That's true. That's a good question. Yes,
Yeah.
absolutely.
So yeah, y'all definitely keep those rolling in.
And you know what? It's stuff that I wouldn't think to go. Okay, so number one, if you are felt up by a ghost, you can call the support line 1-800 he spooked me. Yes, yes, exactly.
Just message Shelly. She'll be able
There's
to
a
help you
support
through
group
it.
for that. I promise you. We'll find you a support group.
Yeah. Shelly will have the welcome packet for you. It's all good.
Yes.
I have to remind myself this isn't a phone call because there's some things
It's
I
not
want
a
to
phone
say
call.
that I
You
can't.
guys, we're getting close to phone call. Y'all be mindful of your words.
Yeah.
I've
Now-
already almost slipped up about twice. So
Oh my gosh.
I know it's kind of like everybody mind your manners. We can't take it back on this.
You'll have to catch us out and about sometime to hear some of the shit that we say. So
That's true. It's so true.
Mhm.
So I cannot wait for next week to show y'all Indiana State. Nobody got felt up. Don't worry about it.
No.
But we were just previously talking about the scariest moment that I think we've ever that we experienced with Keith being jumped to Hill House Manor.
Mhm.
We actually have something new now that has topped that, in my opinion.
It's everybody's worst nightmare. I'll put it to you that way.
Yep. And Shelly and I got to lovingly experience it. So we will be showcasing that as well. So for those of y'all asking what's the scariest moment, we will be showcasing that
Tune in next week.
Yeah, you'll have to tune in on that next week. So
why is it I'm always part of it?
This is a good one. Thanks, David Glidden. What's the most unorthodox technique or experiment you've done on an investigation?
Besides when I told Ryan he had to go naked?
Well, I didn't do it.
Big ups to Dave Glidden. Hi, buddy. The most unorthodox that we've been asked to do or that we've done?
That we've done. The most unorthodox technique or experiment that we have
done. That's gonna
done.
take some thinking.
Oh gosh.
I know.
We tend to keep our experiments relative because we're usually with groups. So we try to keep them relatively safe, not predictable because you can't predict what they're going to do. I'm guessing that
not necessarily unorthodox, but the only thing that's coming to mind for me is investigating a Old West brothel in cowboy gear. I mean, that's
being human trigger objects.
Yeah,
human trigger objects. Yeah,
Mhm.
yeah. I mean, and that's a good comment that was just put into the thing. Me on the autopsy table.
Well,
you on the autopsy table.
Human trigger objects. Dressing up costumes. Putting yourself in that environment. It's not really unorthodox. I'm trying to think if there's other things that we've really done that's kind of out there. But like Shelly said, we're usually with a group, so we
try to be careful.
We more or less take what we.
Or what about? I guess we've done an SS method at the same time in different locations.
But that's what I was about to say. Is we
unorthodox.
basically take kind of what the techniques and methods are that are kind of out there, your SS method, your spirit box, things like that, and just kind of expand on it. Like, oh God, damn, y'all, I'm bad influence. They're putting all kinds of things with my name in the comments. Me in the casket, me on the autopsy table. Yes, I like to put myself in weird areas. It's okay.
Well, that's because there were cameras rolling when Blake did those. Y'all didn't see me climb into the body chiller or whatever it is at Waverly Hills. Blake wasn't there for that. I climbed in there. I'm like, leave me in here, Ryan.
I thought about climbing in there. My big fat ass wouldn't fit. So
no, David, we are not going to be firing live rounds at any investigations. No, we're good. No, it's really the unorthodox. I mean, it's just expanding.
I don't think it's unorthodox.
I don't think it's unorthodox. It's just expanding. Instead of doing one Estes method at a time, we've done up to 4 at a time in the same room.
That's right.
Things like that. Combining REM pod with spirit dice, with spirit box, with K2 meter with Paralight, trying to get them to answer on all, whatever that is, 5 or 6 devices at once. And things like that. So
yeah, nothing unorthodox like going to a battleground and firing live rounds. Nothing like that. Because I mean, again, we're with a group safety number one most of the time.
That's a good idea, though.
Yeah.
Oh God,
Ryan. It really is. But we're
not
going to.
You know what? I mean, to make it a little safer, maybe bring some fireworks and then like some firecrackers. That is
kind of it would be a very similar sound. I think that would be a better idea. But no, we generally want to be invited back to places.
True.
So no, we try to keep everybody happy.
Is there any places you all would never go back to?
I'd go back to all of them.
I'd go
back anywhere. Yeah, there's nowhere that's going to keep me out.
Now there are a couple that I do have hesitation about. When we go back to Old Park in June, that'll be the first time. Oh no, actually, if we go back in when's West Texas? April. That will be the first time that I go back since I was jumped really bad. I have a little hesitation. I won't say fear because I'm not going to be afraid. I'm going to walk in like I own the joint. But there is a moment of pause that I'm going to be a little more careful, have my guard up a little more than I normally do. And the last time that I went to Yorktown, which we will be going back there, go buy your tickets if you don't have them. They're about to be gone.
Yeah.
The last time I was in Yorktown, I was literally trapped in a room and could not get out because I could not stop vomiting. Every time I get close to the door, I would puke and have to retreat. As long as I stayed away from the exit, I didn't feel like I was going to vomit or I could get it under control. So yeah, when we go back to Yorktown, that'll be the first time I've been back since that happened. So,
but I think it's healthy to have a little bit of hesitation in some of these places that we go to.
You should have a healthy respect.
I do too.
Yeah, just to keep your guard up a little bit, But is there anywhere I would never go back to? Absolutely not. There are places like Shelley said that I would definitely be on my guard a little bit more. I.e., Beach Army Hospital. I mean, you can't get back in there again,
into there, you guys. If we ever get a chance to get back into there, we're going to put up 10 tickets. If we ever get back, and you better get one because we'll probably only get one shot.
That'll probably be the only time that we'll be able to get in there.
And that place,
scariest place I've ever been.
That was mine and Ryan's scariest experience ever together.
Yeah.
Wow.
So, but I'll walk right back up in that bitch. I don't give a damn.
I will too. I will too. And if it chases us back out, and as soon as we close the door, we hear a female voice go, "Are you leaving?" Audibly called from inside as we are locking the door. "Are you leaving?" 3 of us heard it.
And then Shelley, you had to stick your hand back through the hole.
Yes, there were 2 holes.
Nope.
There were 2 holes in the doors that closed,
No.
and you had to run the chain through it, and you had to padlock it. Well, we heard something running down the hall after us. We turned around. We did not see anything, and these footsteps continued to run at us. We did not run out. We stepped out very quickly at a rapid pace. We closed the door. We hear, "Are you leaving?" We all look at each other, and I look at them and I go, "I've got to put my hand back through that hole and grab that chain." I go, "And I'm afraid something's going to bite me, and I really don't want to do it." I go, "We got to lock this bitch up." And I stuck my hands there, I grabbed that chain, ripped it out. I'm like, "What did Okay, I got 10. Yay.
But I still got 10.
Yeah,
10.
I did.
Okay.
How high would you have jumped if something would have grabbed your hand
Oh,
and you stuck it back
shit.
through there?
I'd have gnawed it off. Like, leave it there. I gotta go. You know,
Jesus.
yeah, it would have been bad. It would have been bad. And I really was thoroughly expecting something to grab my hand, where my hand
Right.
went back into that hole to stick that chain through to padlock it.
Yeah. Yeah. Have your bucket list locations changed over the last year?
No.
Nope.
I don't think so.
I have been lucky to hit a couple of my bucket list locations, but there are still ones that I'm just like, if I can
Penhurst,
get
Trans-Allegheny. Trans-Allegheny, my top one. Penhurst, my
Trans-Allegheny.
second.
Absolutely.
Yep, same.
Those
And
are my top
Rolling
2.
Hills.
Yeah.
Eloise. That's another one.
I would like
Basically
to go to
everything in the northeast of the country.
That's because that's a long drive, y'all. But we're gonna get
Oh,
there.
it is.
No, we're gonna
Oh,
we're
we'll
gonna
get
get there. We're gonna get there. We've already been talking about it. So
Yeah. Stay tuned.
and then any drawing soon for a free investigation.
Now, who wants to know that?
Who's
Brandy.
asking?
Brandy.
Oh, hi,
Brandy would
Brandy.
like to know. We
There very well might be.
Possibly.
yeah, we've been kicking around some ideas on what we might be able to do. So because our biggest thing is like we want to get as many people that want to go.
Mhm.
And so we're trying to look at all the avenues that we can to make sure that, people are getting that chance. So, because we love for everybody to experience the paranormal that like we have. So,
And fall in love with it. Like
Right.
we fall in love with
Absolutely.
it. And I promise you, it's addictive.
Mhm.
It's addictive.
Yeah.
We've had people that have never gone on ghost hunts. They came with us, and it is true. Whenever you come with us, you get some things that you won't get with other ghost hunts and stuff like that, because there's something about our energy. Things happen.
For whatever reason.
Whenever the three of us are in, now we never guarantee anything's going to happen because we don't control the spirit world, but
Right.
interesting things happen around us. And we've had people that have come once and have been addicted and come back over and over and over. Some people were like, yeah, I just bought the tickets, I wasn't doing anything else. And they're like, now they come all the time, they never miss. And so,
and man, let me tell you, when that first thing happens, when you are
It's
a
crazy.
baby investigator and that first thing happens and you're like, holy shit, that was cool, can we do that again? Can you do it again? And then you're chasing that. You're chasing that the rest of your time you're investigating. So it's a whole lot of fun.
Oh God, they're killing me in the comments because they know I'm on the comments tonight. Nothing. Josh is being like, I'll go to all of them just to be Blake's attachment.
Oh Lord.
Inside joke, Pete. I have to ask this question. I think it's funny. I think it's kind of comical. I think they might just be pulling our chain, but I'm going to ask it anyways.
Sure.
Have you ever experienced activity while on the toilet?
I sure as hell hope not.
No, but we did just deal with somebody who was sitting in a stall when all the other stall doors just swung open on
absolutely.
them.
Thank God that's never happened to me, because I might shit a little bit faster if that happens.
I have 2 rules. You don't fuck with me while I'm in the bathroom or the shower. You don't fuck with me while I'm in bed. Those are the 2 places I am the most vulnerable. And they just said real question. All right, so real question. No, yes, I have.
Think
Shelly
has.
I haven't. Shelly,
you're gonna have to tell us. If you're taking a dump and something starts messing with you, you can't go nowhere. You're stuck. I mean, unless
you're never stuck, Ryan.
Unless you want a mess on your hands, and you don't want that.
All right. Shelly, what the hell happened to you?
I was when Ryan, you know this story. At Bobby Mackey's, I went into the women's restroom, and I had to tinkle, and I have this fear of public bathrooms, so it's like never anything I can't get away from if I have to real quick. And I'm in the women's stall, literally just getting ready to do my business, and all of a sudden there's this bang, and I was like, suddenly there was a pause. I'm going, okay. And I look down real fast and I see no other feet. And it sounds like it's from the stall next to me. And so I'm like, screw that, I'll hold it.
And that's the most active, one of the most active places in that whole building are both bathrooms. So if you go to Bobby Mackey's, take a dump or pee at your own risk.
Yeah,
So,
and the other time was in the old park bathroom, the hall
mhm.
bathroom. I was standing there and I was washing my hands. I was already done, and the light went out, and I'm like, "The hell? They not pay the bill? Go over and flip it and flip it back, and the lights came right back on." Now it is an old building. Could it be a wiring glitch? Of course it could, but I don't know how to explain the
Mhm.
bang in the stall with no feet visible while I was
Yeah.
peeing at Bobby Mackey's. Yeah,
Mhm.
or attempting to anyway.
Well, and they just reminded me in the comments about squirrel cage jail when I was in there using the
Oh, yeah.
What
restroom,
are
and
you
they're like,
doing?
"What are you doing in there?" And they literally go peeing. If you want to watch that, it's a
Yeah.
YouTube short on our YouTube video, our YouTube channel. It's hilarious because Shelly does go, "What are they doing?" You can clearly hear a spirit go peeing. Yeah, it's kind of funny.
That's what
Do
happens
y'all
when you make me your bathroom buddy.
do y'all plan on investigating a place called Arcadia University and the Greytown Castle?
I don't know
Where
anything
is
about
that? Yes,
either.
I do.
Shelly's like, I
Yeah.
do now.
I do now.
Where are they?
Yeah, where is that? Put that
That's
in there.
gonna
And
be that'll be a good thing.
anything says castle, I'm in because that's where I belong.
Mhm.
It's in the castle. Shut up, I do.
Shit.
Can take you to Pythian Castle then.
You know
Uh-huh.
what? I've had the opportunity now 3 times to go there, and
you
it
haven't
has
been able to-
never. Well, it's never lined up with my schedule. I've had
Yeah,
something else
yeah.
going
Mhm.
on. One of the times was that I was offered a spot to go was the same, like the weekend after my house got hit by a tornado. So
Yeah,
that's
Mhm.
kind
true.
of helped.
True. Yeah.
And I've been invited 2 other times and was not able to go any of those times. I am going to get to Pythian Castle. That looks amazing.
You know, if we go to a castle, she's going to show up in one of those cone hats with the ribbon hanging off of it.
Yes,
Oh,
I
God.
am. A cone hat? No, I'm wearing a crown, bitches. A crown. Maybe I'll get me one of them corset things that push up your boobs and make them look good. I'll push them together and make one good one. What are those things called that push them up and make you look like you got some?
I mean, of course, that is what
I
I.
don't know.
Is that what they're
understand,
called?
guess.
I don't
Yeah,
know.
I guess.
I don't own one,
don't know.
apparently.
David Glenn wants to know when we are filming Haunted Collabs.
I don't know.
Mhm.
We'll get with you, David.
We'll get with you.
Oh,
We
it's a
haven't told them everything, Dave.
Arcadia University is a college in Philadelphia.
Ooh,
Ooh, I'm in.
I'm in.
Can you
Let's
get
go.
us in? That is my next question. Can
Oh,
you
yeah, that
get
is-
us in?
Yes.
That's a good question. Can you get us in?
If you
Absolutely.
can get us in, I can get on a plane.
And
I
can
can
you
get there.
and can you get us into Eastern State? That'd be awesome too.
Yeah.
One request at a time.
I was gonna say Arcadia University equals Eastern State Penitentiary. I got it.
Yes,
right.
we'll
It
do
does.
both. if we
Gotcha.
go.
Hey, some
Gotcha.
people would argue.
Oh man! Again, if y'all are jumping in late, we were doing a live Q&A with EVP. Y'all have had some wonderful questions so far. These are great. Y'all are making me laugh. We appreciate.
This is your chance to ask Ryan anything.
Yeah.
Oh, hell.
Please do.
She keeps saying that. Ask Shelly anything. How
They
about that?
take it too easy on you. Oh, please. They take it too easy on
No,
you.
if y'all have heard something on the podcast y'all want more answers on, feel free to ask it. There is nothing
Not
other than
Patreon. Patreon members, you are special. Do not bring up anything that you've heard on Patreon.
Do not. No,
Do
no,
not.
Patreon is
here.
a whole separate beast in and of itself.
Patreon
But no, if
members,
y'all
put your comments in the Patreon comments.
if y'all ever had any questions about investigations that we've done, about the equipment that we use, techniques that we use, the funniest moments, scariest moments, we've answered some of these already, but keep them coming because we are having an absolute blast.
I do have a story I want to tell.
Okay.
And it does involve the paranormal, but it doesn't.
Okay.
We did tell it on Patreon, but we will tell y'all here.
Bustier. Paul just
no.
gave it to you. Bustier is what it's
Thank you,
called.
Paul. I knew you'd know what it was. Thank you,
One
Paul.
of them bustiers.
Yeah.
Bustiers.
Yeah. Thank you, Bustier. Here's the story. Is that when we went to Medicon, the only person that Blake was just absolutely, I will die if I don't meet, is Andrea Perrin. Now, of course, me, John Zaffis, Godfather Paranormal. And I had previously met John Zaffis at West Tex Paracon. And of course, Ryan, all about the Travis Walton, the aliens, that kind of thing. He got to meet him too.
Yeah.
So
That's fun.
I told Blake, I said, don't worry about it. We'll meet Andrea Perrin. And we're coming out. Blake grabs my hand and goes, "She's over there." I was like, what? He goes, "Look over there." So I looked over there. I'm like, what? He goes, that's Andrea Perrin. And I'm like, I start telling him, he's like, don't look, don't look, don't. Like, you just said, look. You want me to look or you want me to not look? So I'm like, yeah, that's Andrea Perrin. So anyway, we casually, she's checking in. We're trying not to bother. We casually walk by her. And Blake is now in the room. He's jumping. I saw you. Oh my God. I'm gonna. Ah! Okay. So he's flipping shit, wants to meet Andrea Perrin. I'm like, don't worry. We'll get a chance. Don't worry. So the next morning we go downstairs because we're going to go down and see him. And I'm walking a little ahead of Blake because Blake hasn't had his coffee and he's quite fucking grumpy. And so I'm walking in front of him. And as I hit the doors that open, I look, and who should I see sitting on the bench in the beautiful bright sunshine is Andrea Perrin. I turn around and look at Blake, and I stop in the middle of the doors that are opening. I go, Andrea Perrin's out there. He goes, what? Suddenly his ass awake. So we step out the doors, and and he's like looking, he's stepping around, he's looking, and I'm going, and so I'm just going to be casual. I walk right up to her, I go, walk past her first, because I don't want to give her a big head or nothing. And I turned around, I went, Andrea Perrin? And she's like, yes, because she's got this really deep, fabulous voice.
Yeah.
And I said, hi, I'm Shelley with Everything Vaguely Paranormal. How are you? Oh, I'm fine. So nice to meet you. And then I kind of look at Blake. I don't know. I suck at doing voices. She's
never come in on our podcast.
I love her. I adore her. Anyway, and so I kind of look at Blake and, hi, I'm Blake Smith.
Oh, hello.
So anyway, but within just a few minutes, so now I'm just chatting with her. Blake's kind of standing there. His eyes are like saucers. He's doing his best to slurp down his coffee because he knows he's been a bitch for the past 20 minutes because he hasn't finished drinking his coffee. And we're chatting. Within 5 minutes of meeting Andrea Perrin, I make her cry. No shit. Hand to God, she begins to bawl. And Blake's looking at me like, what the fuck did you just do? And I have no idea what to do. I just grab her, I put my arm around her, like, please don't cry. I am so sorry. I didn't mean to make you cry. And she's like, it's okay. I'm emotional. I cry all the time. And I go, oh, I'm looking at Blake like, see, it's not my fault. She said she's emotional. She cries all the time. After that, she was so nice to us and really shouldn't have been.
Absolutely.
Very nice to her the whole time. Very sweet to us.
Sweetest lady.
Yes.
Flipping the script here for a little bit. What aspect of paranormal research fascinates you the most?
Ooh, what part of the research?
I think mine is the experiments. That's always what fascinates me the most, is the different types of experiments that you can use while you're at a location or in a whatever on an investigation to be able to make that type of communication. It just astounds me that things like the Estes method, like a spirit box, like a REM pod, that these things have been invented. These pieces of equipment have been invented to make that easier for us. Once you understand how they work and how it needs to be operated, that communication from the other side to you, it's fascinating to me. That to me is what about the research aspect is the use of the experiments and techniques.
If I had to say, probably the historical research, because I'm a giant history nerd. And when I can find out what is happening at a location and I can match it up to answers and to the information that we're gathering from our equipment and our that shit is like gold to me. I love it so much. So that's probably what I would say.
And that's something kind of unique because I always tell Ryan, because Ryan will always do his homework on a place. I always tell Ryan, don't tell me anything. That way I'm not influenced. And if we get something, you can verify based on your research whether or not. That's kind of like the blind experiment. I like a lot of blind experiments where maybe one person knows something and someone else doesn't.
Right.
And see if that someone else can. And it's the experimental thing. I also like it whenever you can, as far as researching goes and trying to get an answer, if you can make an analog match an ITC device.
Right.
You can turn on a spirit box and you can say, if you are here, can you say the word 11 and can you give me a knock?
Yeah.
It says 11, you get a knock. It's an analog and an ITC device.
That's always fascinating.
Right. Because that to me confirms to me there's something intelligent. Because somebody might be able to fake the knock, but you can't fake the word coming that you just asked for through the spirit box. You can't do it.
Right.
So.
Yeah. Have you ever gotten someone named H.A. Anthony come through at Old Park? Now, we've investigated Old Park
Oh
quite a
God.
few times.
Not that I can remember, honestly.
I don't remember an H.A. Anthony. I
Yeah.
do. I don't even remember.
I've been there so many times. I can't
Who-
answer that with accuracy. I
No,
don't
would
recall.
you happen to know who that is? The commenter, if you could put that in the comments, because I don't. I have never.
I don't
come
think I've
across
ever heard that name. No,
I
don't
don't
think
believe I have either, but the spirits that Old Park that like to talk to me are usually
Mhm.
the cowboys, or the brothel patrons,
Mhm.
and Deacon. Though
Yeah.
it's usually one of the trio of the three, the groups of the guys that are there to work, the guys that are there to play, and then Deacon. Those are
Right.
the three that generally. Jimmy the Weasel, he works there
Yeah.
though. Those are that's who I usually get that speaks to me, and they will tell me their name. Like, are you Jimmy? Bing, I'm
was
Jimmy. Okay.
he was the sheriff of Ballinger about 60 years ago.
Okay.
I have gotten somebody who claims to be the judge.
We
The
have gotten
same
We
that,
night,
have, yeah.
but-
well, the same night that I caught the picture of the gunslinger,
Mhm.
I had been getting through the spirit box. I'm the judge. I'm the judge. Kept telling me it was the judge. So I can't say for any certainty that I've ever heard that name come
Yeah.
while I was there investigating, but
I don't
I've
think I
been there
have.
a
And then,
lot.
well, yeah, and then once they opened up the jail, then we got David and Thomas.
Right.
That they're just nasty.
Both are
assholes.
awful. Yeah.
Or that goes back to us talking earlier about as they were in life, so they are in death. I mean, these are just horrible freaking spirits that talk
Right.
about the most insane, vile, disgusting things that you can possibly think of. So yeah, I don't know. Somebody was asking about a video that you and I did at a cemetery. They weren't able to finish it.
Oh,
that would have been
David
when we
Koresh.
went to David Koresh's grave. Yeah.
Yeah.
They wanted to know what happened with it, what came of it. They weren't able to finish it. We got a couple of things, but it wasn't. We didn't talk to Koresh. We'll say that.
We're not sure if we did or not, because remember I told you I was listening to the recording on my way home, and I had it going through my car speakers.
Yeah.
And I said, "Can you tell me whose grave we're at?" And it says David Koresh. Well, when it was first said on the news, it was Koresh. They were saying David Koresh, not David Koresh.
Yeah.
And sometimes today on media outlets, and when we're talking documentary, they will still say David Koresh, even though we know he pronounced it David Koresh.
Right.
Yeah.
So we actually, I don't know if we actually spoke to him or not, don't know. But when we asked whose grave were we standing at through the spirit box, it did come through David Koresh. Is what was said.
And I don't think we'll ever be able to know if that was actually him or not. I mean, it would take somebody trying to pair up, voices and
cadence and
all of that stuff. And we could attempt it, but could we ever 100% say
no?
No,
I
we're not
mean, to be
able
honest, he was in the he was in the building that burned down. We're not even sure how much of remains may or may not even be there.
Right. Right.
So there is a stone for him.
I do really want to go out there and check out that spot though, and just see it.
I'll tell you that it's interesting because I got there a few minutes for Blake, and I kind of drove around, and there was one spot that kept weirding me out, but I didn't get out because I was waiting for Blake. And where Blake pulled up, I was like, "Come on, let's go." And we were trying to find it. And what's interesting was we were trying to locate it on the map. And when we got to this one area, we decided we'd stop, and we're like, "Okay, well, let's just park here." And we parked literally right by the grave. It was the same place that it was kind of ooging me out that I'd kind of been back over by. But when we were like, "Okay, we're just going to park here and we're going to walk until we find it," we parked right where we needed to be. Weird.
Like right where he was. Yeah. So that's what we were doing out there. And nobody, because they put in the comments that said they thought somebody had come up to us. No, nobody came up to us during that. We had some people walking up there, but they were going to another grave.
Yeah.
But nobody bothered us. As long as you respect. I particularly don't like to go to cemeteries because they're a place of rest or resting.
Yeah.
They're there to rest. It'd be like somebody walking in my bedroom like, "Hey, jackass, get up, touch this light, like make it go off, make something happen." So
We went there because I was about to do the Bad Messiah episode over David
Right.
Koresh,
Yeah.
and
Yeah.
I did not realize that his grave was there. And I thought in order to be able to completely, beginning to end, tell the story, I needed to go. In general, we do not investigate cemeteries because in a cemetery you're supposed to be resting in peace. But if you're running around in a house, you are fair game.
You're fair,
Okay,
buddy.
you are not
Right.
resting in peace.
Yeah. All right, we got time for a couple of more questions.
Okay.
If you could investigate anywhere in the world, where would you want to go and why? This kind of touched on bucket list items, but I don't know if they're think
Ooh.
outside your bucket list. Is there someone
Edinburgh
somewhere?
Castle in Ireland.
Chillingham
Okay.
Castle in Scotland.
Oh shit, I wasn't prepared for the answer so quickly. Rapid fire.
Or Leppen Ireland would be cool too.
Yeah.
For me, Winchester Mystery House.
No.
If there was anywhere that the door was just open, and I could get into, no questions asked, Winchester Mystery House. I have my bucket list,
Cool.
like we talked about earlier, Trans-Allegheny Conjuring House.
I
all of
also
that.
would like to go to Transylvania and do Vlad the Impaler's Castle.
That would be awesome. I think my number one international bucket list would be the catacombs in France.
Ooh.
Oh,
That
God,
would-
yes, the
yeah.
Oh
the
my
catacombs
God.
of Paris. Yes,
Yeah, that would be
Absolutely.
pretty good.
that's a
Yeah.
good. We have a lot of international ones that,
Yes.
hopefully, fingers crossed. We got to get
Oh,
our
we will.
passports. That's what
We got a lot of stuff to do because I picked this up. It's called Map in Black.
Mhm.
And when you open it, I'm not going to open it all the way, but you can see how wide it is, maybe something.
Yeah, it's a big
Yeah,
map.
it's a big
yeah.
one.
Yeah, it's a big map. It's the entire United States with every haunted location, UFO sighting, Bigfoot sighting, Native American burial grounds. Oh God, what else is on there? So cryptid sighting. It's one huge map that has it all. So yeah,
Yeah, is there
we have a lot of
anything
places to go.
I have to tell you, I'm going to say this now because I never get a chance to say this because we're usually very structured when we're on the podcast. Thank you, Australia, my little Aussies. Y'all are coming in strong. You're the number 2 country that follows us. I love you, my Aussies, and I will come down there and I will investigate with my Aussie people. I love the Australians.
Hey, I'm
love
coming
you
with
guys.
you.
Yes,
Well,
thank you, Australia. You're
Shoot,
number 2. But
I'll find me a little Sheila down there. We'll be all good.
I'll be somebody's little Sheila. You come on.
And all of a sudden, Australia became like our 10th followed country.
I,
Brian.
I have to tell you, Australia number 2. Let's go.
Mhm.
You know what? England, Great Britain, they're kicking your butt right now. I expected
and,
better.
and you know how much England hates that.
I just want to say thank you, Australia. We're running analytics, and y'all are like, y'all jumped up to number 2.
I know. We
Love
love our Aussies down there.
We love all of
Fantastic.
our international followers. Thank
Absolutely.
you so much. We appreciate
Australia,
England,
Texas,
Australia.
the continent.
Jesus, Ryan.
you. Don't
Just
do that,
stop.
Ryan. We
Just
want them to
stop.
like us.
Yeah,
I
just
know, but
stop.
that's everybody has always said Australia is like Texas, the continent.
What's
All right.
this say?
Have y'all ever come across a cryptid? Have you ever had an experience with a cryptid?
As bad as I would love to, no, I have not.
Ryan is our cryptid guy.
Yes.
He is
He
the one
wants
that
to
loves
so
all
bad.
the cryptids. He
Mhm.
wants to so bad.
Mhm.
Cryptid? No, I don't think that I have.
No.
Now, alien
Mhm.
UFO? That's a different story.
Seen UFOs, yes. Cryptids,
Um,
no.
I've seen a couple of things that I can't explain.
Unless
Yeah.
I'm forgetting something. No, I don't believe I have.
Well, we thought you found a werewolf tooth outside of your house. but
Yes,
Yeah.
that turned out to be
it was a werewolf tooth.
turned out to be of all things for you to find a coffin bone.
Yes, and you saw that on the intro tonight.
Yeah.
That was what
Yeah.
I found. I was sure it was a werewolf tooth. I was
Yeah.
sure it was.
Yeah.
But it was a coffin bone, and the thing was huge.
Yeah, it was
I
huge.
was like, "What the hell?" Yeah, I find strange things all the time.
Mhm.
I love that.
Ryan, you actually have will Ryan be my one day Valentine, just one day for Valentine's
Oh,
Okay.
Tell Kobe he says yes.
Day. Ryan, you got a Valentine. We're so happy for you.
Oh, you're a Valentine, Ryan.
Oh man, y'all have given us some great questions. Y'all are kind of slowing down on the questions, so
That's okay because it's getting late.
I know we've kept y'all here for about almost an hour and a half, so I think
Thank
that's
you.
perfect. We really do appreciate
Well,
all the questions that y'all have put in tonight.
we'll
That
have
has
to do this
been-
again sometime. It's a lot of fun.
Yeah, absolutely. We'll have to do another queue with give y'all prep time to come with your questions. We know we kind of threw it on you tonight, but hey, that's okay. We're a live show. It happens. Sometimes guests have things that happen in their lives just like we do. And guess what? We're just going to roll with it. So we came on to just spend some time with y'all and answer some of the questions that y'all had. So
thanks for everybody that asked questions.
Yeah, absolutely. Any other comments or final thoughts, y'all?
Thank you. This was a lot of fun, and this kind of actually gives us an idea of kind of the things that you might want to see or might want to know in the future. So we'll make a point to take a little, pay a little closer attention.
Well, we're already getting a request for a part 2. So
all right, and so and we're so appreciative we're so appreciative you guys showing up, and God knows it's so humbling to know that you guys actually care about what we do and who we are, and it's
if
great.
we have problems with spookies on the toilet, I appreciate that. I appreciate your concern. That is a great question, though. I've never been asked that before, though.
That's a good one. And Blake, if they're having problems with spookies, where can they go?
Yeah, Blake, why don't you tell them everything they need to know?
I was like, that was such a weird throw over, Ryan. So,
I gotcha.
Just kidding. So we've got a couple of announcements here. Our talk show, After Dark with EVP, has been renewed for a second season. It's exclusively on Paraflix Paranormal Plus. Our entire first season is now available for streaming. We have 8 episodes consisting of interviews with other individuals in the paranormal field and haunted location owners, and our very own paranormal investigations with evidence you won't see anywhere other than on Paraflix. Paraflix is available on Amazon Fire, Roku TV, Apple TV, iOS, and Google Play. Season 2 of After Dark with EVP will premiere March 28th, 2024 at 8 p.m. Again, only on Paraflix. So make sure you use our link to sign up. Our link tree will be posted on our Facebook page tomorrow. That's going to include that Paraflix link. And for you audio listeners, it is in the show notes as well. Use our code AFTERDARK25 for 25% off your annual subscription. Like I said, we'll be posting up that Linktree link tomorrow. That is going to include not only that Paraflix link, but also every social media channel we are on, our online merchandise store, our public investigations, and our Patreon page. Our Patreon page is the fastest and easiest way you can directly help support the show. For just $5 a month, you will gain access to over 325 additional Patreon exclusive videos. Your support from this goes directly to the show and all the ghostly adventures that we get to bring you week after week. This price will never change. And with that, you currently get our pre and post broadcasts, which are the 30 minutes before and the 30 minutes after the live broadcast, where we discuss things further, fight and debate at goofy as hell, and share a more personal side of things. God help you. Our Patreon.
Good luck.
It also includes our Patreon exclusive raw and unedited investigation footage. We've recently posted a few methods as well as full-length investigation footage. So if you've ever wanted to review and watch some raw paranormal evidence, now is your chance. That is only on Patreon. We are also offering a 7-day free trial for that Patreon page, so you can check it out before you purchase. Make sure you're following us across all social media platforms, as we are now starting to release different pieces of evidence and videos, as well as announcements for tickets and investigations to different social media channels. So if you're just following us on one channel, you're only getting a small portion. These are all the ways you can directly support everything Vaguely Paranormal, but we also appreciate your love and support for us through those likes, comments, shares, views, and downloads. And remember, as always, any questions, comments, or stories you'd like to share with us, those can be submitted to us at the evppod@gmail.com. That is THEEVPPOD@gmail.com.
Like, share, and subscribe. So we want to thank you guys for joining us tonight on Everything Vaguely Paranormal, the off-the-cuff edition.
Right, exactly.
I'm Shelley Pruitt, my partners in the paranormal, Mr. Ryan Roberts and Mr. Blake Smith. Thank you for joining us tonight. And as always, we will see you next Tuesday. Bye-bye.
Bye, y'all.
Bye, y'all.